It's showtime.
Hello and welcome to Musical Lyrical Lingo. We're your hosts, Tim
and LJ. Today and every week we will be discussing musicals, but specifically what they taught us.
And this week we're talking about
lots.
New musical. Well, a new musical and an old musical.
Yeah, a new discovery of musicals.
New discovery of musicals.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going off road.
Yeah, I love this challenge. I think that we should do it at the beginning of the season and the end of the season.
Oh, you're a gag. You're just saying that because I mucked up.
No.
Because I was like, I think we should do that again. You know, we haven't done it since season 1. And then Lauren was like, we did it at the beginning of season 2. And I'm going, oh, did we? I'm not. But like, how many episodes do we do in a season? That seems like so long ago. I mean, that was in a different house and everything.
I know. But I think because we have done so much in season 2, like we've had loads of guests, we've done specials. Yeah, I think in the flow, you know.
We're in the flow. I think this bit or this type of episode excites us even more, doesn't it? We love experiencing new. Like I love listening to brand new cast recordings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I've been listening to a few recently. Some good, some indifferent,
not so good.
Yeah, but we're not here to talk about them today.
No, and let's not, because
So will we just get cracked in? Because the last time we did this, we came across an absolute joy
that
in Millennials Are Killing Musicals.
Yeah, amazing.
Will we come across?
Let's hope.
Another one.
Fan favourite.
Yeah.
So for those that are maybe new to the podcast or maybe only discovering us, so sometimes we set each other challenges where we give each other a number of musicals that we assume the other person maybe doesn't know a huge amount about.
We do this twice a season.
Yeah, we do this twice a season, and we then just, here you go, here's 5 musicals, and what you need to do is go and listen to them all once, and then if there's one that you have a connection with or something, then that's the one that you decide to talk about.
Yeah.
So we do share before we come to record which musical it is, just so that we have a bit of a understanding.
Just to make sure we've heard the other ones. The other person's choice.
So we did see it at the weekend. I was like, what musical? You're like, I'm not telling you. I was like, no, you need to.
I forgot that part of the agreement. I was like, oh yeah, she needs to know. So she can listen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot.
So yeah. You were very on the ball. It's almost as if you had been thinking about this for a while.
Well, I think, do you know what it was? I had gone through a period of having listened to quite a lot of unknown musical cast recordings. So for me, I had a few that I was like, that would be a good one for the next, the next challenge episode. So I had a couple, and I just sent them to you whilst I had a minute. Like in my life, it's so busy. It's so busy that I had a couple of minutes. I was like, I'm just going to send them through to kickstart the process.
So shall we start? Shall I say what you sent me, or shall we say what we sent each other?
Who's going first? You or me? With your choice.
Well, I'll go first, seeing as you sent me the things first.
See, and I was more on the ball.
You were more on the ball.
That's fine by me.
So the messages that I got were...
And we mentioned in the last episode, I think I played an absolute blinder with the choices I gave you.
Timothy's choices were better than mine, apparently.
Of course. Don't apparently. Of course they were. All of our listeners are going to go and listen to all of these musicals, and they're going to agree.
Okay. So...
Continue.
Yes, and please do go, but I'm hoping that at some point in the future we'll talk about at least some of these musicals too.
I think there's a few on both of our lists that definitely have a future.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see what comes of some of them, for sure. And one of the reasons we do this episode is to encourage you guys to go and listen to, new musicals or musicals that you haven't heard of before, because that keeps musical theatre alive.
Yeah.
And we're on a two-person mission to keep musicals alive.
Yeah,
and we want to win the bloody podcast award.
That's it. So there's a process with everything.
Oh, especially when we're working with Lauren. There's a process.
But, so, Cake, the Marie Antoinette playlist. Then we had the Great British Bake Off musical, original, London.
Do you watch the Bake Off?
I do, yeah. Though I haven't this year.
It's great.
I have it recorded. Becoming Nancy.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had 42 Balloons.
Which had previously been mentioned on this episode when we talked to Francis.
Yes,
because he was excited for that one.
And then Zoological Society. So I'm going to go through them. So the one I chose was Cake.
Oh, I was going to do a drum roll, but it's okay.
Sorry.
Carry
was
on.
Cake, okay?
The Marie Antoinette musical.
I did listen to them in order that you sent them.
Okay.
Which was strange, but... So I listened to that first.
What was the first one I sent you?
Cake.
Okay.
So Cake was the very first one I listened to.
Oh,
and then
you listened to it first and then you returned to it right at the very end?
So then I was like, I'm going to obviously listen to them all.
Yeah.
I thought Great British Bake Off was really warm and cutesy and I loved it.
Yeah.
I did think it was great and I 100% seen it in the local Amdram scene. I was like, that
perfect,
needs to be snapped up. Somebody needs to do that quick. I fell in love with Becoming Nancy. And I did not choose it as my number one is because I think it needs to go and have a wee bit of work and I think it'll come back bigger and stronger.
Okay.
So I almost didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Because I have a feeling we will be doing it at some point.
Because it has just opened. Has it opened and just closed on Broadway?
Uh-huh.
The reason I put that into my list is because Jerry Mitchell, who's one of my favourite choreographers stroke directors, was involved in that project, and I was like, oh, that's Jerry's new one. We'll put that in. See what you think.
Loved
Interesting.
It. Really, really loved that.
Yeah.
And loved Joseph Peacock's voice. Stunning. 42 Balloons. I'd listened to it.
Yep.
Before, whenever Francis mentioned it, I was in the process of listening to it. So I was like, okay, I know a bit about that. So I didn't want to do it. I kind of did want to come to something that I'd never listened to before.
I think that it'll be interesting to see what happens to that over the next year or two.
Yeah. Again, I think it needs
things have happened, and I think it'll only. I think it'll move forward. Like, I don't see that being the end of its journey.
And then Zoological Society. I first of all started to listen to it, and I was like, "What?
I know
is this?
Why did he send me this?"
And then all of a sudden there were swear words, and I was like, oh my goodness, it's hilarious.
Absolutely hilarious, right?
Hilarious.
So, do you know what vibes it gave me?
What?
Avenue Q.
I was about to say.
Has Aaron heard it yet?
He hasn't heard it.
Give it a listen. It's so funny.
I think it is one. The next time we're on a long car journey, I'm going to put it on and be like, listen to this.
Because I did the same. The first track I went, what on earth is this?
Yeah.
And like, it's got quite big names linked to it. Like Lucy Jones is on the tracks. Jason Manford, although him in musical theatre upsets me. You know, there's a few names and I'm like, what have they signed up to? Did they realise what they were signing up to? And then you hear it and you go, okay.
Yeah.
This is funny.
It was a nice surprise. But, and I'm going to be honest, I first listened to Cake and I didn't love it.
Okay.
But there was something about it that made me want to listen to it again. So I was like, I'm going to give it one more go. And on the second, I was hooked.
Yeah.
I think the first time I was distracted, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
And I think that made a big difference. And I kind of had stayed away from the social media around it. Yeah. So I was aware of it. It was kind of like in my what's that word? Peripheral?
Peripheral.
That
my
word.
Goodness.
Peripheral. But I think it's great. I do think it's another one that we will hear again in a couple of years' time.
So, on Saturday, when I forgot that we needed to tell each other, and when you told me, I was like, that's the choice. Like, deep, deep, deep down, I was hoping that's the one that you would choose.
Yeah, okay.
Because I think of all of them, I think that's the one for me that is most exciting as to what's going to happen.
Right.
And that, the cast recording is like hot off the press.
Yes.
Like that was only released a month ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And I think obviously you'll have more background, won't you? But like, I think there was workshopping of it, and then they went away and they made changes, and then they've returned to it, and they've now done a cast recording. And I think there is plans going forward.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I did listen to another podcast where Zizi Strelin, who is Marie Antoinette, was interviewed, and she's in the process of stuff, which is cake related.
So if you are going to listen to Cake, there are 2 album covers. There's one where it is like Marie's face.
Yeah.
And then there's another which is a black and pink sort of background.
Yeah, black background, pink writing.
That is the one, that is the recent one.
Yes.
That's the most up-to-date one.
And the one I sent you.
Yes, and that is the one that I have been listening. I did listen to 1 or 2 of the other. There's not a huge difference, but so just in case anybody wants to.
It was giving me musically 6 vibes.
Okay, so we'll say you said
it.
that musically, the influences on my listen, I got Vogue, like Madonna's Vogue. I then got, I really, really felt Kylie and a stock Aiken Waterman vibe from some of the songs. 6, Kylie, I've said, Dua Lipa, and I really felt some of the songs were just like TikTok. So you're not a TikTok participant. So there's loads of songs which just appear on TikTok, and then they kind of get like stuck in your head. People are doing dances to them, whatever. So definitely like Filthy Rich. Would be one that I'm like, that would just be a song that people are doing stuff to. And there's a little Hamilton-esque to it with some of the rapping and history. And then Very 6, obviously, because of again, history, females. But I definitely give it more than one listen to. I think that would be my advice.
I thought the tongue-in-cheek vibe to it was very 6. You know, the way that kind of like you know, the witty, clever lyrics. I thought, that's quite 6. I was listening to it on the way here because, as you said, the more you listen to it, the more I think you get hooked. I find it very funny.
So what did
tell us all about it.
So Cake the Musical, it's a Bill Kenwright production. Lovely Bill Kenwright. I didn't
realise it.
It is described as a multi-genre pop score that is there's a multi-genre pop score that is used in this, and it is described as a musical / ballet.
Oh, /ballet.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So Cake, full title, the Marie. Is it Marie or Mary? Marie. Okay. The Marie Antoinette playlist retells the story that sparked a revolution. Starring Zizi Strelin and Renee Lamb, whose voice is amazing, and she was the original Catherine of Aragon in 6. Okay. So also Millie O'Connell, who was the original
Sorry, not sorry.
In 6.
Anne Boleyn.
2. So there is, some 6 people there. Commissioned by Paul Taylor Mills, who did Heather, In the Heights, and My Son's a Queer. Music and lyrics by Jack McManus, and an up-and-coming, she's on one of those one to watch, but like Nico is in Broadway, Tasha Taylor Johnston. I
thought the lyrics are super, super clever.
They are. Your fave, Drew McOney, is the original staging and choreography. Book by Morgan Lloyd Malcolm and Tasha Taylor Johnston. So a real vibrant crew who kind of want to do something a little bit different. So the staging was also different. It was a real interactive performance. Started in 2022, 2023, went on a UK tour, and then it came to the other palace. It was meant to run from September until the 10th of November, and it lasted a week. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, I wonder why that was. Do we know?
Do you remember we had a conversation a couple of weeks ago about this is happening in Broadway? Things are opening and closing. Open and closes, not opening at all. There's a problem. And this is the first thing that we've seen in the West End, especially for something new that is just like, that is a bit wild that it was meant to be on for at least 3 months. And it just... So whether or not, they said it just wasn't viable. They couldn't, like, literally couldn't pay.
Right.
But yet people that, you know, just sharing on social media that they went to see it, were like, it was full.
Yeah.
So it's just strange. And the tour was successful.
In my dream world, now that we've seen what happened with Nico and stuff, like, I would love any of those people that you have mentioned to end up on our podcast next season.
Could you imagine
like,
if I said
all of them would
on?
be like super, super interesting to talk to. Like, so exciting. Please come on a podcast.
Please. So I said it opened at the other palace. Based on the true story of Marie and her scandal-filled reign, the musical centres on a crime that helped spark a revolution when con artist Jean de Valois-Saint-Remy implicated Queen Marie in a plot to defraud the crown jewellers. I did not know any of this, so I learnt loads.
Good. Well, I mean, I didn't know anything either, but it's history. Why would I?
Yeah. No. So I want to go back, to the reviews. The reviews of everything. A lot of people were saying it's a work in progress, plenty of potential, just not there yet.
Yeah.
So maybe they all took that on board and then have gone, okay, it's not there yet. But the staging was like, there was a circle. A lot of the action was done on like this pedestal and then brought forward, and people interacted with it, and there was like encouragement of the audience and everything. Right. So I think they were trying something different. I have also written down, can we get better at celebrating theatre? Like, why are you only successful if you are on or Broadway or West End? The amount of work that musical theatre performers are putting into every single performance, day in and day out, let's just celebrate it. Let's celebrate if you're off Broadway.
Yeah.
If you're on a UK tour, if you're on a national tour,
theatre, in my opinion, theatre's theatre, regardless of where it is or what scale it is.
But there feels like there's a real hierarchy, doesn't there? I suppose that, like, everybody, the dream is to be West End, the dream is to be Broadway, but let's not poo-poo people who can only get on for a week. You know? Well,
no, especially with new work.
Yeah.
That's something that should be celebrated.
And should there not be just more job security where something has to run for at least 6 months? Can there not just be a 6-month contract?
Well, you just wonder, is there not more support that can be given to people who are trying new things?
But then look what happened last night.
What happened last night?
Tammy Faye was pulled.
That's right, it's closed, isn't it?
Performances.
Really?
5.
There's something weird going on in Broadway at the moment, though, isn't there?
Like, because that's Elton John's.
There was My Son's a Queer, but what can you do? Like, they were over in Broadway, ready to go, and then all of a sudden, like, the arse fell out of it, and it's never happened.
Leaving.
Yeah, I know, it's very bizarre. What's going on in America at the moment?
I just think
in theatre world, we're not even going there with the rest.
I just think ticket prices are so expensive. Anyway, so one of my first musical lyrical lingos, who was Marie?
Who was Marie?
Who was Marie Antoinette?
She sounded fabulous, okay. I have to say, in this cast recording anyway.
Yeah. Her real name was Maria Antonia Josepha Johanna. She was born the 2nd of November 1755, and she sadly died on the 16th of 10th, 1793. She was only 38.
Yeah.
I know the two of yous. The last queen of France prior to the French Revolution.
Right.
She was the wife of the Louis XVI, and she was 14 and he was 15 when they got married. It took them 7 years to consummate their marriage. So, while she was queen,
It's an important fact you needed to include
No, but
there.
people are saying, like, that is very odd.
Yeah.
So I'm just including
It's
it.
more interesting than eating cake.
Oh, okay. While she was queen, she was under much criticism. They felt that she was too sympathetic towards Austria, and too promiscuous. And apparently she had illegitimate children as well as Louis. So
they were both at it, just not with each other.
Yeah. She was falsely accused of defrauding the crown's jewels in a scandal known as Affair of the Diamond Necklace.
Yep.
The country's financial crisis was blamed on her lavish spending, and this is where the rumour of let them eat cake came from. But EP will remind me or shout at me, it is badly rumoured that she said that. She did not indeed say let them eat cake.
And here they are, they've written a musical about it. Whoops.
It was apparently just journalism as a way to bring down the aristocracy.
Yeah.
Propaganda. When the French abolished their monarch in 1792, Louis was then executed by guillotine. I haven't said that right, sure I haven't. Guillotine. And MA, as I'm calling her now, began trial 2 days later for this affair of the diamond necklace. And she was then later executed, as I said, 1793. At the Palace de la...
Did she get the guillotine too?
She did get the guillotine too. At the Palace de la Revolution. And if you watched that dreadful... if you watched that opening ceremony for the Olympics...
Didn't know.
There was a whole dedication about
the
heads there. So, anyway, so yeah, the affair of the diamond necklace.
The head's still there?
No, that was their tribute.
Oh, right, okay, got you.
To their past or whatever. The affair of the diamond necklace was from 1784 to 1785. So, M.A., Marie Antoinette, she was not loved by her subjects. And there was fire then to this false accusation that she had participated in a crime to defraud the crown jewellers by acquiring a very expensive diamond necklace and then refusing to pay. So, in fact, this was, her signature was actually forged by Jean de la Voie Saint-Remy, who was then later convicted after the Queen's
Okay, and
beheading.
that's a character that's played by Renée Lamb?
Yes,
okay.
That is indeed.
And she befriended...
Yes, so I'm going to like this. So I learned all about...
See, I'm learning more already. I
all
love this
about
podcast.
this. This necklace in today's world would be worth 13 million. 13 million pounds.
Holy moly.
But this necklace wasn't just for these monarchs. This necklace was actually meant to be a gift to Louis XV's mistress, but he died, and then I think of smallpox he died of, and then Louis XVI offered it to Marie Antoinette, but she hated his mistress. The previous Louis's mistress, so she actually banished her from court, and then she said, no, I don't want that necklace, I don't want anything to do with it.
Oh, wow.
So this is what I've written. So then this trickster, Big Jean as I'm calling her now, planned to use the necklace to gain wealth and power. She, in fact, was a mistress for the Cardinal, Rohan, who was trying to regain the Queen's favour, Queen Marie Antoinette. Yeah. He had said some negative things about her in court, and she no longer wanted to be his friend.
I don't want to be your friend anymore.
I don't want to be your friend.
Oh, sorry, I should have said it in a French accent.
So,
I do not want to be your friend
anymore. And this actually really disturbed him because he, being a cardinal, he actually wanted to... Louis XVI was quite a religious man, and he often relied on ministers and priests and to help make his decisions. And this cardinal wanted to be in that inner circle, but because he had offended the Queen, he was never going to get into that inner circle.
We all like to be in the inner circle.
So our trickster, Big Jean, she decided to convince him to write letters to Marie.
Okay.
But she was the one on the receiving end. He thought he was writing to the Queen. He wasn't.
She was a wee trickster, wasn't she?
She was a wee trickster. And whenever he felt like the letters were getting... Why are you laughing at me?
Nothing.
Whenever he felt the letters were getting more warm, he said, well, could you ask me to... get a wee arrangement. You are laughing at me. Why are you laughing at me?
Absolutely nothing.
Okay. Could I arrange to meet the Queen? So he asked Big Jean to arrange a meeting with MA in the Palace of Versailles.
Palace of Versailles.
But he ended up meeting a prostitute that Big Jean had fooled the cardinal with, who looked just slightly like Marie Antoinette. The old man was a fool. He didn't even realise he wasn't actually meeting the Queen.
Okay.
After this encounter, then she said, or at this encounter, the prostitute said, I have forgiven you. We are friends now. But what would make us really friendly if you buy me that necklace that was made?
Got you.
So then he then went to, and so because this was all in letters, this was like evidence that the Queen had actually said it. He then went and negotiated installments to the jewellers, and then Big Jean and an accomplice got the necklace and sold it in parts. And then she had the letters, and that's how she was able to fake the signature, and that's how the Queen.
So Perwy,
yeah,
she was like got her head chopped off for no reason.
Absolutely no reason.
It was all Big Jean's fault.
Mm-hmm.
How dare she?
No, his fault.
Oh well, but she was also a wee minx, like setting the Queen up, like.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like 100%.
The cardinal.
Yeah.
Rohan.
Yeah.
Rohan. He likes to be in the inner circle.
So the musical, because it is so new, the cast recording, it's really hard to get the actual lyrics up.
Yeah, it is.
So I can't say if there was anything in the lyrics that I learned from it, because with me being hard of hearing, I sometimes hear words wrong, so I need to read what the lyrics actually say.
It's wordy. It is wordy, like.
So that is the learning that I did was mainly from the history, but I really love the different styles of the music. I felt overall what the musical was teaching you, like the song Champagne Dreams, which is like
it's like a ballad, isn't it?
It's the ballad song that Marie sings, or Mary sings, or whatever her name is.
Marie.
So it sort of explores her like complexities and like the fact that she was thrust into power, but again, being a woman in that time, she had no say in anything. So she was, Aaron hates that. But she was a queen, but with limitations.
Yeah.
And I like that. Drew did say, and I watched some behind the scenes, that you're not coming to watch this for a history lesson. You're coming just to have like a more humanized version of the story.
Very good.
So don't come and watch it.
Don't come and watch it.
No, as in don't come and watch it for a history lesson.
Right.
It also warns you of the dangers of living in excess and privilege and being too lavish, because then people can turn on you.
Mm-hmm.
The musical underscores the importance of understanding and connecting with others, particularly those less fortunate.
Yeah.
So it's important to do that. One of the songs I've already said, I love Filthy Rich, and then Sugar Rush.
Yes.
Louis sings. It is said that both of them had a sweet tooth, and that's where they were eating all the cakes and the macarons and the sweets and everything, and the poor people of France were not able to eat anything. It is said that she brought her chocolate, what do you call that? Chocolate maker? From Austria. There we go. From Austria to Paris, and that's where the introduction of chocolate with orange blossom or chocolate with sweet almonds became popular in Paris.
Wow.
Louis XV was also really into his sugar. and his hot chocolate, and it was said that he used to drink it in the Palace of Versailles, which is Louis XVI's grandfather, the one who made the necklace for his mistress. Anyway, Louis XV's hot chocolate recipe is equal bar of chocolate and water. So whatever amount of chocolate you put water in, boil that on a low heat, then add an egg yolk.
Oh.
And that's to do 4 people. Stir over a low heat and make that the day before and then serve it. So, if anybody wants to try, apparently it is
a little bit.
The best hot chocolate. I mean, if they were making it in the 1700s and people are still drinking it now, it must be good.
Must be good. Fair boost to them.
There we go. It doesn't seem like there was a lot, but I did feel like I learned a lot.
Oh no, there was a lot there. Right? There was a lot of history there. A lot of history.
I thought that literally she just said, let them eat cake, and they all just went...
And they ate cake?
Executed her, and that was it.
And then chopped it, yeah.
I didn't realise there was this scandal about the necklace.
The necklace, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think they're on their winner, having Zizi Stalin at the head of that project.
Yeah. And Lamb's voice is beautiful.
Yeah.
And
the two
powerful.
of them together are fantastic. The numbers that they do back and forward are brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
And I thought the guy, I've forgotten his name.
The Cardinal.
Is brilliant. A very important person.
Yeah. It's the right level of camp, isn't it?
Yeah. And whenever Louis, just before his head is being chopped off and he thinks that he's talking to God, and they're like, no, you're just about to get your head chopped. There's enough tongue-in-cheek and stuff into it.
Well, this is what I liked about it. I loved the humour. And I love the voices and the styles of music, as you said, like I totally hear the Kylie songs, but then you've got like brilliant ballads like Champagne Dreams, and I'm going, like it just seems to have everything, and that's why I got Lovely Six vibes from it, because obviously that tongue in cheek, the humour. But then if you think of each of the Queen's songs, they're so different from each other, but then they all work together in that one big, and I kind of feel the same about this. And I don't know, every so often you hear like a cast recording, which you haven't seen the show, and you can visualise it. Like I could totally visualise how cool it could be. The
only thing that I can think of is, does Six work better because it is just 6 people and the band on stage? This has more of a company, and is it too busy? Is
too many?
Do you maybe need it to only have 6 people? You have the Cardinal, Louis, Marie,
streamline
Jean,
it a bit. Yeah.
The part Millie plays, I can't remember the name there, but there's only a few characters rather than dancers as well. Maybe it does need to be more, especially if they're wanting that audience participation type
That's
thing.
quite interesting you mentioned that, because actually the musical I ended up going with is like a 6-hander. Yeah. So that's cool.
So that is me.
Keep watching then, or keep listening.
Keep listening.
And then watch this space for what comes of it.
Yeah.
I
think it would do really well on tour.
Yeah, it does have legs, so doesn't it? As a new works, like it's good.
Yeah, I don't know if it would suit just being in town. I think it would be a better...
But somewhere like the Arts Theatre where Six started, it could it not do a run in there, like, and see what happens?
Maybe.
Who knows?
But that's really what the other palace is sort of turning out to be like more
and
now. And if it didn't work
Paul
there,
Taylor Mills is the boss there, isn't he? And anything he does is good, So if he's got his backing behind it, I would like to see it come to fruition. Do you know what I mean?
Me too. I think it deserves it.
Yeah, and I think there seems to be a buzz around it at the moment, and certainly the people involved seem to be very, very positive about the future of it. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great choice. Well done.
Well, thank you.
I think you chose wisely there.
Thanks.
On to me then.
On to you.
On to me. I love talking about me.
Even though it wasn't as good as...
No, I don't know if I agree with that. I was just like, I was proper proudest punch at the short list I gave you. So, Lauren gave me 5 as well. So, the first one was EFX. And then we had Ruthless, the stage mother of all musicals.
Yeah.
They call it. Then Only Fools and Horses, the musical. Treason, the musical. And then Ride.
Yeah.
So, will I go in order of what I listened and then how I came to my decision? So I actually listened to, I don't know why, I actually really liked the logo or the poster for Ride.
Right, yeah.
So I listened to Ride and I was sure that's what I was going to do because I was like, I loved it. It's brilliant. Anybody who has not listened to it, listen to it. It's about the first female who cycled around the world.
Yeah.
It's like it's a two-hander, isn't it? It's 2 women and that is it. Yeah. Like that is the soundtrack. But oh my goodness, is it Freya Katrine Smith who is the lead? Her voice is insane. Like brilliant, and the music is so beautiful. It's great. Yeah, loved it. I was like, right, I think I'm going to do this.
And had you not listened to that before?
Nope.
See, that was the one that I had sent, and I thought maybe you've already.
I had listened to 1 out of the 5, and that was it. Right. So then I listened to, because you were like, "Have you listened to it yet? Have you listened to it yet?" EFX. Yeah. Now, EFX. Oh my God.
Gonna shatter my childhood dreams.
How
here.
I still don't know what it is. It was a lot. It was a lot. MGM Grand, is that in Las Vegas?
Yeah, so it is a hotel in Las Vegas.
Okay, but was this a musical or was this like a showcase kind of?
No, so this was a musical that was just commissioned for MGM Grand.
Okay. All about special effects. Right?
It's about a fantasy world. He meets Merlin and he travels through.
See, there's my problem. Me and fantasy, we don't tend to go together. It was an awful lot, but the main thing that put me off was Michael Crawford. Michael Crawford in his day was Michael Crawford, wonderful, right? I struggle with old Michael Crawford.
So the only version online is Michael Crawford, while I have David Cassidy. It was David Cassidy.
And you did send me a video, and I appreciated the video. Yeah. But I just went, it's a bit much for me. I'm not going to go with it. Yeah. Now, there's some songs that are very good if somebody other than Michael Crawford sang them. Then, Only Fools and Horses, I've been aware of. And I've been a bit, I loved Only Fools and Horses on TV.
Oh, did you?
Loved it, right?
I did not know that about you.
But I was a bit like, when it first came to fruition that it had been turned into music, I was like, well, that's ridiculous. And then it was in the Haymarket Theatre for so long, like ages. And I was like, it must be pretty decent if it's been around. And I went, or there's just loads of Only Fools and Horses fans out there. I listened to the cast recording. Oh my God, it's brilliant.
It's so good.
It is coming to the Opera House. It is. Can we go and see it?
Yeah, let's go.
Because I would love to see it, and that was the musical I was going to do. It took over Ride for me. I didn't listen to Treason the musical because I'd already listened to it, and it's brilliant. I think, has potential for the future.
My goodness!
So the reason why I didn't choose it was because I think there's more to come, and I can see us doing Treason the musical as an episode.
Yeah, absolutely, because
in the future,
it's already had 2 concerts.
Version.
With different performers, because we've had Carrie Hope Fletcher, we've had Lucy Jones, with Bradley Jaden. There's been big names have been attached to it, but it just hasn't had a production yet. So I'm kind of glad that you didn't choose it. But I also wasn't aware if you had listened to it. So.
So I had listened. I think I listened to it about a year ago, maybe.
Yeah, that was when the second concert was just coming out. Yeah,
the one with Bradley, Jaden, and Cedric. Yeah, Cedric O'Neill, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So I look forward to seeing what happens with it. So it was only Fools and Horses until the last one I listened to was Ruthless.
Love
the
it.
stage mother of all musicals. You know me so well.
I do.
It is me, isn't it? It's a bit of me.
It is hilarious.
It is hilarious. And it's like this podcast is weird, Lauren, because we mentioned in our last episode, All Shook Up, about I Love You, You're Perfect, Now Change. Mm-hmm. And it gave me I Love You, You're Perfect, Now Change vibes.
Okay, yeah.
So, I have chosen Ruthless.
Love it.
Which is also one of the... Is it the old... I think it's the oldest musical of the five you gave me. Yeah. I think.
Yeah, oh no, it definitely is.
And it has a real old...
It does.
...sound to it.
Because of what it's
an old
mimicking.
Musical... Yeah, an old musical theatre. Like, but it is absolutely hilarious. Mm. So... Ruthless is the story of a naive 1950s housewife, Judy. Now, I should say, the plot is ridiculous.
Oh, so convoluted.
So ridiculous. And I'm not even going to go into the depths of the plot, right? But it's about a naive 1950s housewife, Judy, and her adorable but psychopathic 8-year-old musical theatre loving daughter, Tina.
And I think you need to really highlight psychopath.
Oh, totally psychopathic. I mean, I think I've come across a few Tinas in my time. Tina is born to be on the stage and is encouraged by her manager, Sylvia. Mm. Tina will do anything to get the lead role in her school play. And that includes murdering the little girl who's got the lead role.
Yeah.
She took her up to the eaves and she hung her.
Yeah. Yeah.
She gave her an opportunity to give up the part. She didn't give up the part, so Tina took things into her own hands.
She did.
But, I mean, you shouldn't laugh at things like that, but hilarious.
Yeah.
Absolutely hilarious. In Act 2, whilst Tina is spending time in a reform school for psychopathic ingenues, Judy, her mother, discovers from her adoptive mother, so Judy is adopted, mm-hmm. right? But she discovers from her adoptive mother when she's asking this question of, well, where did Tina get her talents from? Like, I'm not talented. Like, where did she get them from? She discovers from her adoptive mother that actually her birth mother was, in fact, a famous actress. Now that explains Tina's talents. Judy then decides, well, I mean, if my mother was a famous Broadway, actress, then I must have some talent. And she too should be famous as well. And she does become a Broadway diva, much to the annoyance of her daughter Tina. And all hell breaks loose. Yeah. And there's more murders there's more treachery and backstabbing and all the rest of it between Tina and her mother and secrets galore, blah, 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 blah. But it is an absolute roar. It's a sketch. Right?
Yeah.
It is hilarious, irreverent. I think that's why I love it. And so different from a lot of the other shows of the 90s. Mm-hmm. With potentially dangerous levels of overacting and high camp.
Yeah.
It's camp.
And it's early 90s, isn't it? Was it like 92 or something?
Yeah. So Ruthless Musical is an all-female musical. And I did notice a bit of a... I don't know if you knew what you were... Did you know that you were doing this when you gave me my musicals? But no. I had Ruthless, that was an all-female musical. Ride, that was 2 females. Yeah. I was like, oh, I see what she's doing here.
No, I didn't.
Maybe not. So it's an all-female musical with music by Marvin Laird and books and lyric by Joel Pally that often spoofs musicals like Gypsy and Mame and also movies such as The Bad Seed and All About Eve. The musical premiered, interestingly, because you've mentioned Off-Broadway and you know how we should be championing more things that are in places like Off-Broadway. This musical premiered Off-Broadway in 1992 in the Players Theatre, closing after 342 performances. Joel Pally directed, whilst Marvin Laird was MD. So it was a really small team. And it felt it. Do you know what I mean? It felt like a nice musical that you could put on a small scale in an off-Broadway venue, not too big, and just have real heart and care given to it. The central role of Tina was then played by the unknown Laura Bell Bundy before she went on to originate Legally Blonde on Broadway. And her understudies were Natalie Portman and Britney Flippin' Spears.
I know. How, like, what?
I mean, secretly, that's the main reason I chose it.
Okay.
I was like, Natalie Portman and Britney Spears were the understudies? Like, I'm amazed Britney Spears didn't shove Laura Bell Bundy down the stairs to get on. Now, that would have been ironic, wouldn't it? The show won the 1993 New York Outer Critics Circle Award for Best Off-Broadway Musical. And it has since played in a few regional theatres in the US and another off-Broadway run in 2015. The musical then made its West End premiere at the Arts Theatre. We've just talked about the Arts Theatre in 2018, and a recording of the London production was released by Broadway HD in 2019, and I also think it's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, is it? I couldn't quite find it. I knew what's on the stage. Anyway, sometimes they release.
Yeah.
There was like a snippet of it, and you could watch it for so many like months or something, but I didn't realise it was still on Prime.
If it's still out there, shall we watch it together?
Yeah, yes.
Because I was like, maybe I should go and watch it for obviously the pod. And I was like, no, if it's out there, Lauren and I will watch it together. And you're more than welcome to come too. Does this sound like your type of musical?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
There we go. So, Ruthless the Musical is an all-female musical, as I've said, with just, sorry, I got it wrong, 7 female characters. However, although the musical was written for an all-female cast, it has become somewhat of a tradition to have the role of Sylvia, who is Tina's agent, played or performed by a man, which really confused me when I read all-female cast, and I was like, I definitely heard a male voice in the cast recording. And that is simply just because Joel Vig gave the best audition for the original 1992 production. And ever since then, it just has kind of become a bit of a thing that Sylvia's played in drag.
And what an amazing thing we say all the time. If you're the best person for the role, you should get the role.
Absolutely.
Just like if you're the best person for the job, you should get the job.
That's it. It was nominated for 5 Drama Desk Awards in 1992, including for Laura Bell Bundy, Joel Pally as director, Joel Pally for his lyrics, and then Best Musical.
Brilliant.
Yeah, really good. So, a bit like you, I didn't learn a huge amount from it, but my goodness, there was a lot of me in it. Does that make sense? So it just made me laugh, and I wanted to share some of the lyrics from it because they are so ridiculously hilarious, especially when it comes to musicals. We're doing a musical theatre podcast. Yeah. Heck, why not? So you can have it all if you're talented. That's the first thing I learned. One of the lyrics says, and this is Sylvia, I think, that's singing in the number Talent. Well, it's all banana splits when you've got talent. You don't have to show your tits if you've got talent. So there you go. If you're talented, you don't need to be flashing. It also, so this word ingenue came up, and I didn't know what an ingenue was. So the lyric in Talent is, you're no silly plastic ingenue in cheesy ads for cheap shampoo. And an ingenue is generally a young girl or woman who is endearingly innocent, or an ingenue might also refer to a new young actress or one typecast in such roles.
Oh.
So there you go.
Very clever.
Ingenue, that's what an ingenue is. Also, in Talent, she sings, I'm your Auntie Mame, your Mama Rose, and there's nothing gonna stop us till we're through. And that's one of many. They reference Gypsy quite a lot.
Yes.
Because when they're auditioning for the school play, the school teacher sings, sing up, Louise. Yep. which Louise is the name of the child who did get the role, who then ends up being killed by Tina. Poor Louise.
I know.
Okay. The next number that really stood out to me as a teacher was teaching third grade. It's called Sung by the Teacher. So like it happens many times in our professions or in stage schools or when you're casting shows, there'll always be parents that don't agree with your decision. I'm not going to say any more. But it just rang true to me as a teacher. This teacher singing about teaching third grade. She sings, nose is runny, nose is bleedy, little runs so bloody needy. Say nothing?
Okay, yeah.
Oh, I love grading papers, she sings. The pay's terrific. My summers are free. So who needs the limelight when you can be me? Right?
It's like you wrote it.
I tell you what. She also sings, she'll have to get over not starring this year. Into each life rain falls, I'm afraid. Life's a bitch and it starts in third grade. Now, if only as professionals we could ever be that honest, right? Will I have a job after this?
Yeah.
Okay. So then, when Judy's like questioning, well, where's this talent come from? They sing this song, Talent Often Skips a Generation, okay? LOL, laugh out loud.
Hilarious.
So Judy says, 2 wonderful people raised me. Sylvia goes, are they at all gifted? And Judy says, Mother hates everything to do with theatre. She's a theatre critic.
Yeah, love it.
It's so true though, isn't it?
Oh.
Like people who hate the theatre the most are theatre critics.
Yeah.
It makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then Judy sings, well, I feel sorry for her and everyone like her because show people are doomed. Doomed to a lifestyle of booze, pills and heavy meals late at night. And that is fact.
Okay.
If maybe not the booze and the pills, but you see, if you're involved in a show, your diet goes out the window, your fitness regime goes out the window. It's like heavy meals late at night after a rehearsal when you get home because you have no other choice.
Yeah, no time.
Now, the school play I'm going to try.
Okay.
Called Pippi in Tahiti.
Oh my
goodness.
goodness.
Because, I mean, it sounds like a surefire hit, right?
Oh my goodness.
Imagine doing a school play called Pippi in Tahiti. So Tahiti, situated in central part of Pacific Ocean. I'd heard of Tahiti, but I never had any idea where it was. The largest island of a group of islands in French Polynesia. It also sings about Bora Bora. And Bora Bora is a small South Pacific island northwest of Tahiti. And they sing coconuts, mangoes, grass huts, and look, the Bora Bora Hilton. This must be Tahiti, and I'm Pippi Pippi. Sounds good, right? I think maybe my favourite song, and it was so good they gave it a reprise, is called I Hate Musicals.
The best song, like
isn't it?
One of the songs that needs to be considered for best song in a musical.
Yeah, I agree.
Hilarious too.
It and like if you listen to It's a Musical from Something Rotten and then listen to I Hate Musicals from Ruthless, like the two are perfect in a playlist, aren't they?
Absolutely.
I mean, I learned nothing from it. I was affronted, but absolutely hilarious. With some truth, sadly.
It actually had me laughing out loud.
Yes.
Where I was driving at the time and I was like, this is so funny and so true.
I think I listened to it about 5 times in a row because it just, as you said, it made me laugh. It warmed my cockles too. They sing, honestly, if I want for the theatre, I'll go see a play with no singing and dancing to get in the way. This is just downright rude. Theatre is language. It sounded like you a wee bit.
Yeah, did it?
Because you know the way you love your straight plays and stuff. Theatre is language, and that should be all. Music belongs in Carnegie Hall. Not a reason on earth, as far as I know, to write, mount, and open a musical show. And that, my friends, is in a musical.
Yeah.
The story is moving. Chocked full of suspense, the plot takes a twist, the mood is intense. Then someone sings a song like this. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. Gangs, hilarious, because I love this because it referenced loads of other shows.
Yeah, loved it.
Gangs don't look tough when they twirl and they snap, referencing West Side Story, yeah. My gorge starts to rise if a nun starts to tap. The funniest lines in the show. And wouldn't you just love to slap Maria Von Trapp? I'll tell you how to solve a problem like Maria. Rolf, she's over there. Isn't that brilliant?
So funny.
So funny.
And that reminds me of my dad so much as well, where he's just like...
When you just love to slap Maria Von Trapp. I'll tell you how to solve a problem like Maria. Rolf, she's over there.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
So good.
So good they then gave it a reprise. So when I hate musicals reprise, how I hated Phantom, down with the candelabra. I took a book along and read through Les Miserables. Or no, it was Les Miserables.
Blah.
When it comes to subtlety, Miss Saigon fell a hair short. If I want helicopters, I'll go to the airport. It's very true. Yeah. Last lines, which sums this show up beautifully. No matter who is starring, I'm never enticed. It's way overpriced and I won't pay. Because I hate musicals, but I fear they're here to say, damn right, I hate musicals, but not as much as I hate ballet.
Great.
Fantastic. It was thank you, because I had never heard of it. It had never come onto my radar before, and it will now be in my wee musical theatre playlist.
I love it.
Anytime I need a bit of a laugh and a bit of a giggle.
And I don't know where I first heard of it. I think it was Tina's song, I Was Like Born to Perform, whenever I was like little. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, knew that.
Little did you know the context behind the whole show.
Didn't know it at all.
The psychopathic killer Tina.
Also knew that it was Britney, and it maybe came from like Caitlin being obsessed with like my sister being obsessed with Britney Spears or something, but knew that she was in it, but I didn't know anything about it.
It's so class. Why does Britney never talk about it in any of her interviews? That's what people want to hear.
Of course,
time on
musical theatre.
Did she ever get on? Did she feel like she wanted to be like Tina and like push the lead actress Laura Bell Bundy? I love that it's Laura Bell Bundy too. Like,
I know, and that she's gone on
before she then became and Natalie Portman. Oh my goodness, like big movie fans person.
But yeah, that's good. I'm so glad, and I'm so glad that you like loved Only Fools and Horses too.
Yeah.
Like,
I loved it. I was ready. Like I was ready to sit down and prep it. Like I was so adamant. Right, that's it.
Yeah,
I have to talk about this one. We maybe should talk about it at some point.
No, I think we should, especially. Well, I think if we go to see it, like that would be good too to talk about it after we've seen it.
I never have thought of going to see it.
I knew it had to be
I'd listened to
good. I think we watched it one of those like Children in Need or Red Nose Day or something like that, and I was like, do you know, like I never watched Only Fools and Horses. I know my brother-in-law is a big fan, big fan, but I never watched it. I've seen a few episodes here and there, but I thought this works. This has legs, and I like the man that is playing. What do you call him? Paul Whitehouse. I think he has something to do with it. I think he actually wrote it. Yeah,
bits of it. And with I think the son of the original writer of the TV series, and I like that. Like I was like, that's really nice, and I think that's why it's probably decent.
Yeah, and sure, they're doing a big Christmas run instead of like a pantomime. They're doing a Christmas run at the minute, and Finny Jones is in it.
Oh, interesting.
So, but. No, I loved all of those choices.
Yeah.
Ones that you give me. So I think that I would love to, hopefully in like 12 months' time, we're talking about becoming Nancy or being Nancy. Because I think that's going to be a very special musical.
Yeah. But maybe take EFX off the list. But there is a list of 9 really bright. No, listen to FX, it's fine.
Listen to FX. But you know what? There's not very many songs in it. It's all music based too.
Yeah, it was all just a lot.
It was
hurt
a
my
little
ears.
it was a little bit of nostalgia. You see what happened, I'll tell you the story. My parents went to see it, and me and my sister were left in the room. So we then fantasized over this.
You know, I actually have a wee tiny violin at home that plays. It's class.
No, so we then almost like built this thing up. Like, what was it? And we just read the program and listened to the soundtrack, and we just thought it would be amazing. But we actually didn't get to go see it.
And did they love it?
Absolutely adored it.
Even your dad?
Yeah, thought it was good. Like
the visuals, I'm sure. Yeah, good,
yeah. No, I'm saying that. Maybe we did go and see it.
Oh lordy days.
No, we didn't go see it.
It's late, folks. Yeah, go and listen to all of those musicals that we mentioned.
We'll put them up on the socials so that you can see them.
And let us know once you've listened to them what ones were your favourite.
Yeah, do. So
listen to new musical theatre, people.
Yeah. That's it. The whole podcast is about things that we have learned from musicals, but also how musicals have helped us. We've been taught.
And if Britney Spears wants to come on the podcast to talk about her time on Ruthless, we'd be more than happy to have you.
Absolutely. Anybody wants to come on
the podcast. Or Natalie
podcast.
Portman.
Yeah.
You know, no problem.
Perfect.
Doors always open.
Yeah. We'll see you there.
Did the second challenge episode live up to the first one?
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Yeah. I do enjoy this.
Yeah, no, it is definitely a good challenge. I do like discovering new musicals and being forced to, I have to give something another go, because I think for me, especially sometimes I can just go, oh, I didn't really love that.
Fair.
I still haven't quite listened to Warriors for the second time. I need to do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, try and listen to things more than once.
Yeah.
I think is my lesson that I'm going to take away from today.
Yeah.
There we go.
And for now, let's go and eat cake.
Bye.